Hey, Void, checking in again. 24-hour movie marathon. We are at our 16 and 25 minutes. Okay, so feeling pretty good so far. Oddly enough, drinking a bit of an energy drink seems to have restabilized me rather than keeping me going loopy. So perhaps that helped. Also, got some good dinner a little while ago. Well, not that. 4 hours ago now. No, three. About 3 hours ago. So, feeling good. So, what I watch? Okay, still a little shaky up there, I guess. Wreck. Now, this is the Spanish original that was remade into the American Quarantine, which I'd seen several times, including back in theaters. Now, I'd always heard that Wreck and Quarantine were very similar, and that is true. They are nearly shot for shot. The American one extends it a little bit, I think, adding a bit to the running time, because Rec was actually shorter than I thought it would be. And it was literally made like 1 year later. Yeah, Quarantine adds about 10 minutes to Rec. So, personally, I will say, normally I do prefer the originals for when it comes to American foreign remakes. With I think the exception where I consider them kind of equal would be The Ring and Ringu, but in this case, I actually think I do prefer the American one just a little bit more, just because of some of those extensions. It ups the gruesome factor a little bit more. That said, this one does a little bit at the ending, seems to harken more towards something religious or demonic rather than just purely viral, which the American one seems to set it up more viral and kind of explain what the virus is a little bit more. So the American one seems to go completely the more viral route and offer a little bit more explanation on some sort of doomsday attempt, while this one seems to posit something about demonic, but then leave it open. But then two sequels then came out for Wreck, which I believe continue the storyline. Quarantine also got a sequel, but it was just one of those. Here we go again. One person from the Earth complex escaped, and now there's an outbreak on a plane. Or in an airport terminal. Quarantine 2, terminal. Ha ha ha. Okay, so. That said, it's still a very fine movie. Essentially, just then. This one follows Angela, who's tagging along with a couple firefighters. She's doing this like late night TV show called While You Were Sleeping. So it's essentially she follows around nighttime crews. This time she's doing a firefighters, and they get called for a medical issue. Well, they're not sure exactly what they're called for, but they're called, and some police are there. They find out a woman collapsed upstairs. Well, after they go up and investigate, the woman goes crazy and bites one of them, causing a severe injury. So when they quickly try to leave to get more help, they find themselves sealed off and are quarantined. Hence the name of the remake. This one's called Wreck because they're a first-person found footage recording of it. And this was pretty much one of the. Blair Witch really kicked everything off for found footage. But this is like one of the first foreign entries into it, and was one of the first continuing the mainstream. And I believe this was one of the first-person zombie-esque ones. So more definitely came later. So Wreck is very well done, very well acted, though a complaint I have for both this one and the American remake is the main girl really freaks out way too much at the end. I mean, yeah, I would too, but it is like hard to watch when she just keeps screaming all the time, especially when you know that's going to get her killed. But yeah, you do understand. Gore effects are fairly well done, but they're a bit more subdued than in the American one. I guess I'm going to compare this to the American one a lot, because that's the one I'm more familiar with. But still definitely effective, and it's pretty much about these residents trying to survive in a building with people that are hopped up on a super virus. The American one says it's like a super fast rabies. This one doesn't really go into it other than saying it has some flu-like symptoms. Beyond that, it doesn't really go into other than the hyper aggression. So yeah, it's still very effective. Either version of this, you're gonna be fine with. The American one for me added a little bit more. This one, still very solid. And I do want to see the sequels. Two of them are on my Tubi list. I don't know if I'll get to them tonight, since I do want to keep a little bit of variety going. But yeah, it's definitely on my to see list. I think that is all on Rec. Focus is still a little lacking, and I'm definitely getting antsy. But so far, I'm holding the line, as it were, and should things are going well. It's around about 11:30. I have to get to 7 in the morning, so 7.5 hours to go. So about 3 movies or so. You know, I think 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, depending on the length of things. Well, might end up having to overshoot a little bit just to finish whatever movie I'm watching at the end, but them's the breaks. All right. Well, I'll see you guys soon, and yeah, I'll just see you soon.